Hello everyone. It is Tuesday, August 20th, 2024. The time is 12:15 Eastern and the temperature is 18 degrees Celsius in St. Thomas, Ontario, Canada. And welcome everyone to the live stream of West Coast Walker. My name's Robert and I am going to show you around a typical town here in Canada called St. Thomas, Ontario. Happens to be the town where I grew up. And we have 519 Media. Hello sir, nice to see you. I am in St. Thomas today. And of course we have the famous Jumbo statue. Let's go have a look. And we have Juanita with us. Welcome, Juanita. Today I am in a small town called St. Thomas, Ontario, which is the town where I grew up. And it's also the town of the famous Jumbo the Elephant statue, a life-size statue, which basically, just hang on one second here. Which was erected to commemorate the death of Jumbo the elephant, who died here in St. Thomas, Ontario. As we look over the hill here onto the highway, Highway 4. Thomas the train, that's right. And Jumbo the elephant was the world's famous elephant. He was caught in Africa as a young boy, I guess, or a young calf, and brought to different zoos until he finally landed in London, England, at the London Zoo, and became a worldwide sensation for being able to ride, like people could ride him, including the Queen's children and whatnot. And then he was sold to P.T. Barnum, the Barnum and Bailey Circus, and it was caused quite an uproar because the people of England saw him almost as sort of a national treasure in many ways. Hello to Sebastian. Hello Sebastian, welcome. We are in St. Thomas, Ontario today, town where I grew up. And we're looking at a life-size statue of Jumbo. So Jumbo was taken around in the P.T. Barnum Circus all throughout North America and became a sensation. He was already a sensation in England and he became a worldwide sensation basically. And then unfortunately tragedy struck in 1885 here in this small town called St. Thomas, which was known as the Railway City, and still is known as the Railway City because many of the railroads cross through here. Devin, welcome sir, nice to see you. We're in a place called St. Thomas, Ontario today. Yeah, it's definitely cooler. It's 18 degrees Celsius. And so he died here famously in a train accident, and the whole world was saddened. It was a very sad moment for the world, and St. Thomas kind of became the place where he was known to have died. But it wasn't until 100 years later, until 1985, when they decided, let's erect a life-size statue of Jumbo here to commemorate the loss. And so they did. So now it's kind of it is definitely the most famous landmark. As you can see, it's big. Like, here's my hand, and it only goes onto like one toenail, right? So one toenail is as big as my hand. And yes, it is a very beautiful statue, Juanita. It shows the elephant well. And so I'm going to show you around the town I grew up here, St. Thomas, Ontario today. It's a typical town in Canada. There's about 40,000 people that live here now. And it's, you know, just a lot of families. There are some apartments, but it's mostly single-family homes. And there is quite a bit of commercial activity, I would say. There's a lot of larger grocery stores, a lot of grocery stores here, a lot of fast food places. So it's kind of that, you know, typical North American commercial activity. It is very cool here today, Devon. 18 degrees Celsius, nice cool breeze. The sun is shining, and so there's not much to complain about. Yes, thanks. Please hit the like and subscribe if you haven't done already. It's pretty bad downtown, sad way of living. Oh, you do see some homeless people even in St. Thomas nowadays. But I wouldn't say it's that bad, really, coming from San Francisco. So we see just nice little single-family homes here. Very quaint, small homes here. We're on the sort of eastern end of the city. We're going to make our way over to the main drag of the city called Talbot Street, named after Thomas Talbot. Some people say that St. Thomas was named after Thomas Talbot, but I think that's more of an urban legend, because see the church right there? I'll move a little closer. See this old white church here? This old white church was built back in the 1800s, before St. Thomas was incorporated. And this church is called St. Thomas Church. So I don't think that the legend of St. Thomas being named after Thomas Talbot, because I mean he wasn't a saint, he was just a political leader. So this church here was actually, I believe the city of St. Thomas was named after this church. And it no longer has services, but they've got like a museum in there and tons of old graves, even supposedly an old witch's grave. So yeah, I believe the city was named after that church. Cute little homes, eh, Juanita? This was a very simple town, easy town to grow up in. Not much bad things really happened, thankfully, you know, growing up here. We had a lot of friends. It's easy to know everyone. There's only like, there was 4 high schools, but they're not that big. See some regular apartments here. Nothing special, but if you happen to want to live in an apartment, it's perfect. Thomas Talbot, the textile mill, Middlesex Canal guy. Most likely, yeah, Middlesex. Thomas Talbot was famous around here as being, I think, one of the leaders of Upper Canada, or this part of Canada was called Upper Canada, Ontario was. And there are highway, like roads and stuff named after him. And this main drag here in the city is called Talbot Street, and this is where much of the commercial activity resides. So we've got an older style building there called the Victoria Building from 1914. little parkette here where you can hang out and admire the flowers. Got a Subway across the street there, and then Tim Hortons. That guy didn't want to be on camera. Maybe he's like a VIP or something and he doesn't want to be photographed. Maybe that's Taylor Swift's husband or something. It's a auto body shop here. Let me know how the audio is and the camera as well. I know it buffered a lot yesterday. I'm using like a different SIM card today. Right, Juanita? It's like the dude's hiding his face, but I don't think the world really cares who the guy is. The one I'm thinking of is from Massachusetts, brought the canal with his brother and textile mill. Give him his free paper bag so he can't be off camera. I know, right? Like, come on, dude. Like, I don't think you're gonna have the paparazzi coming here looking for you because I caught you on camera. Thanks, Devin. 9 out of 10 I will go with. Thanks, Juanita. But, I mean, you've seen I've had my share of dinguses in San Francisco, so even in a small town in Canada, that guy didn't say anything, but still, I would call him like half dingus, basically. That chiropractic clinic has been there for a long time. And this used to be like vitamins and supplements and stuff, but looks like they have since closed down. I guess you can really get vitamins and supplements anywhere nowadays. It's always windy in Canada. Well, not always windy in this part of Canada, but for the last couple live streams it has been, right? I mean, yesterday was pretty windy in Port Stanley, and today it's windy for St. Thomas. Like, we don't really get like a massive amount of wind all the time. Get a nice 12-minute oil change there. Potato Express, I'm not sure what that is. People in witness protection don't go walking around sidewalks, they're rushing. Yeah. Medano, welcome. I am in a place called St. Thomas, Ontario today, which is the town where I actually grew up. Welcome, Medano. We are on the main drag of the city called Talbot Street, the west end of the city. We're making our way towards the main commercial district. There's also City Hall on this street. And if you go far enough, you'll get to a Walmart, Great Canadian Superstore, and a whole bunch of different restaurants and eateries. We have a nice, I believe that's an art gallery there. that one is. Oh no, that's a restaurant now. Okay, that's interesting. They moved the art gallery next door here to this newer building. I love old brick too, right? Like these kind of brick buildings, 3 or 4 stories. Nice sort of loft apartment that they have up there. Those are probably pretty nice if they're, you know, as long as they're recently renovated. And we have Shaquille Shaq in our house. Shaquille, welcome. Nice to see you. We're in Canada today. Yeah, I like small towns too, especially like when it comes to growing up in one. It's a little bit easier to grow up in a small town. Kind of know everybody. That's a cute little mini car. I don't know what that is called, but I like it. And we have Jazz with us. Welcome, Jazz. Oh, no worries. You don't have to worry about being late. I started just a few minutes ago. Probably go for like another 2 hours like we did yesterday. And these are probably from the 1800s, these buildings. They've been around for a while. That was a cute little smart car, right? I've never seen that one before. I don't know if that's street legal or not. I mean, it was parked right there. I imagine it's... can drive it somewhere. There's a community health center there. Some other older buildings. These are also sort of nicer, older buildings here. (1880s to 1910). I agree. I think that's probably when those were. That building right there with that brickwork, that looks 1880s to me, for sure. 1887 maybe. I'm just guessing at the exact year, but I'm no architecture expert. I just pay attention to a lot of architecture and kind of have a feel for when something was built. As we reach Talbot and Hinks Street, it's mostly all residential down there. This is kind of one of the main streets that has actual stores and whatnot, and walkable stores that you can just, you know, go easily from one to the next. There's also a bigger commercial area which you kind of have to drive to. With it's got the Walmart super center there. Walmart is big in St. Thomas here. We've had it for a while. Got some sort of shoes and clothing store there. Boutique kind of stuff. Donald Mugford shoes. Yeah, I've heard of that. That's been there for a long time. Since 1965, it says. And this is a very nice, cute parkette. The fountain, there's usually a fountain here, but I'm not sure what that is, but it's a very nice little statue. And you can relax here in between the CIBC Bank and this building here, which has a cute little mural, which has since faded. That mural's been there for a long time. Take care, Shaquille. They don't bother with the big keystone arches and carved limestone detail work on the newer buildings, I know. This is Mitchell Hepburn, one of Ontario's prime minister. I guess prime minister used to be, Ontario used to have its own prime minister. We call it a premier now. Got a pawn shop. There's a few pawn shops. That's a Bella Jack's Mexican restaurant, which is actually pretty good. And then a tattoo shop. Tattoos are big nowadays. I feel like when I was growing up, people got tattoos, but not as much as nowadays. This building is Casey's, where they have kitchen design. That guy just flies through the stop sign without any care in the world. Yeah, maybe they'll have that soon, Devin. Got a little old school bookstore here, if you guys still enjoy reading books. I do. Yeah, we do have St. Thomas dinguses. And now we have reached a massive church called Holy Angels Catholic Church. And this is one of two Catholic churches in the city. That's actually the rector's house where the priest lives. And this is the bigger church in the city by far. There's a smaller one too. And it's got a beautiful rose window there. In sort of typical, I'm not sure when this was built, probably 1800s as well. See, there's a little bell there. It might have a sign as to when that was built, but as you can see, it's got very nice windows on the side to let natural light in, with stained glass, of course. I wouldn't call this Gothic necessarily, but it does have that sort of Gothic feel. I like paper books too. Juanita and Devin both agree that books are awesome. A good book will get you so enthralled, more so than like any movie. Yeah, I wonder why that entrance is all gated up. I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe they're doing some renovations or something. Oh, let's see, this monument was erected. So this bell was erected at some point. It's from 1871. The Holy Angels Parish and Cemetery was established here in 1831. And we have Pine Sol. Welcome, Mr. Pine Sol. Nice to see you. We are in the typical small town of Canada called St. Thomas, Ontario. About 2 hours outside of Toronto. Yeah, it could have something to do with that, Devin. there used to be a high school beside this church, and I went to that high school for a couple years, but then they demolished it and they built a new one in a completely different part of town. So we did have to go to that church when I was in high school. It was because in Catholic high school you got to go once in a while to church, and you had to wear uniforms, I remember. It kind of looks like London too. London and St. Thomas are very similar. They're obviously pretty much right beside each other. And we have Kurt Affair. Welcome, Kurt. Nice to see you. Hello from my hometown, St. Thomas, Ontario. As we see City Hall here, also built in that nice 1800s architectural style. They knew how to design stuff in the Victorian era. It's got a gorgeous clock tower, very similar to kind of the city halls that you find in Canada. And it's a nice solid brick building with the copper roof. Or it could be copper, or it could just be green tile. Kurt is your favorite Canadian, Sebastian. That's right. Engineers need to learn vestibules to entrances instead of just blocking them up. For a church, it's so important to look inviting. True. Something smells good here. I'm not sure what restaurant is cooking. I'm not seeing that many restaurants close by, but a store called Saint T, which is the nickname of St. Thomas. I've actually never seen that store before. This tavern here in front of us is called Legends Tavern, and it really is a legend in St. Thomas. This place has been here for at least 25 years and has really succeeded. It's probably the busiest bar in the city. And yeah, it is actually open now, but at night, it's like Friday, Saturday night, it's going to be packed here. We've got some little touristy building there. I'm not sure. This area was where the tracks came through, so these buildings might be related to the railroad. We have with us Keith Bradley. Welcome, Keith Bradley. Nice to see you on the West Coast Walker channel. We are in a small town in Canada called St. Thomas. As we see these very nice murals here, which are pretty new. Is Legends like the club district? Yeah, I mean, there's Legends there. Across the street there's another place called Whiskey Rocks. And there are a couple more bars in this area as well. So yeah, we're basically in the club district. Not that there is any clubs. There used to be a club. There used to be a couple dance clubs here back in the 90s. But dance music and Canada is essentially dead in Canada. Even in Toronto, all the great clubs are gone. It's hard to find any real dance clubs and music. DJs don't even really come to Canada anymore. It's just completely died. It used to be so big around here too. Got another barber shop and tattoo, so you can get a haircut and a tattoo there. This is called Purely Wicked, which maybe they sell like witchcraft kind of stuff. Got old school pizzeria here, Chef Bondi, probably been here for 50 years. Old school fish and chips place as well. These guys have been around here for a long time. Clay oven, that looks kind of new. As you see, there's more murals here. Get a tattoo of your barber, or get your barber to give you a tattoo. Is disco making a comeback? There's such a thing called new disco now. And so it's kind of making a comeback, I would say. Maybe not traditional disco, but you've got DJs that are kind of making disco-ish songs. As you see, another mural celebrating the Railway City. That's what we're known for, is the Railway City. And also the railways killing the beloved Jumbo. I can switch sides here and go to... You want me to go to the witch shop? We have clubs, but they play horrible club music. Plush Mickey! Good to see you, Plush. Welcome. People are yelling. We're in a small town called St. Thomas today, where I grew up. Oh, you hear discos? Oh, that's a slogan from the 90s. There's another tattoo and piercing place. I think that's the third tattoo place we've seen just on this street. Everybody and their grandma's getting a tattoo nowadays. Do I still run into a lot of folks I grew up with? Once in a while I do. Once in a while I do. Crosswalk beeping is loud, is it not? This intersection is pretty loud. Oh, you've heard about the Railway Museum here? There used to be lots of connections between St. Thomas and Michigan. I agree. This is practically the United States over here. I mean, we're pretty close to Michigan. Just gonna tie my shoe real quick. Yeah, like we're not far from Michigan at all. I can get down to Port Huron in like just over an hour from here. And we have Buy Stocks with us. Welcome to Buy Stocks. This is St. Thomas, Ontario, if you haven't joined us before, so welcome. I'm just going to go back through the messages, see if I missed anything. Very nice purple flowers, right, Cole? This lot here has been empty for a long time. I would imagine it's going to be developed at some point. You'll see that there's a number of grocery stores around here. Our first one that we're going to see is called Bulk Barn. Bulk Barn is a cool store because they sell everything in sort of bulk containers. So like if you want cereal, if you want candy, you just open the container, grab how much you want and weigh it. And they've got everything. They've got nuts, they've got spices, they've got rice, beans, you know, anything that can be dried and put into a container. Basically, they've got it there. And you don't have to buy a large package, you can just weigh out what you need. And all kinds of different candies and chocolates. Very nice day here. 18 degrees Celsius by stocks. Amazon will snatch it up and put it in a warehouse. There's already an Amazon warehouse in St. Thomas. There used to be an old Ford plant. That's one of the major banks here in Canada. And the Ford plant closed down and they put an Amazon warehouse there. It's just outside the city on the highway. And this is Food Basics, a budget grocer, which will have much cheaper food than like Loblaws or Metro. Yeah, that's right, Cole. And we have the Mighty Bull with us. The Mighty Bull, welcome. Here in the city of St. Thomas, Ontario. Nice to see you, Mighty Bull. Seen you in many chats over the years. I know you're a big fan of Action Kid and Walks in Wall Street, New York City Walking Show. Across the street there we have like a very old train station. This was like a main station that was in the city, and they've converted it into like sort of an event space slash office building. And so the interior is all been renovated inside that old red brick building, and so it's very nice in there now. Metro owns Food Basics. That's good to know. Van Pelt's Business Solutions sells stationery. It wasn't turned into a farmer's market. We do have a farmer's market right here, actually. See these buildings right here? These little pavilions? Every Saturday morning, that's where you'll find the farmer's market of St. Thomas. And that's been going on for many years, before I was even born. Cute dog walking there, pit bull mix, yeah. Dogs are obviously huge around here. Why are there so many pictures of elephants, right? Because Jumbo the elephant, poor guy, died here, and now the city has been known for that since 1885. So they played it up by erecting a giant Jumbo statue, which you can see at the beginning of the live stream. sharing you live, the Mighty Bill channel, enjoying live. Well, thank you, Mighty Bull. I appreciate you. Go ahead and share it. That'd be awesome. Thank you. How are my watch hours doing? I haven't looked at that in a while. You can get your car fixed here. And across the street, there's a famous restaurant in Canada called Boston Pizza. Boston Pizza. And you will not find any of those in Boston. In fact, it's from Edmonton. And another nice plaza here with Chuck's Roadhouse. They have good food. There's a sushi place beside it, a Cash Money place, and Pita Pit if you want a pita wrap. What are the hot eateries around here? Boston Pizza for sure. I would say the sushi place is, I think, doing pretty good because there's not too many of that around here. Yeah, I haven't looked at my analytics much. And then there's Harry's Charcoal Broil. This is a great eatery. If you want a nice, juicy burger cooked fresh, not microwaved like Burger King, then you come to Harry's Charcoal Broil. And they'll fire you one up. That's probably my favorite burger place in the city. Yeah, Detroit style pizza is good. I agree with that. The crosswalk sign looked like he was surfing or walking on a tightrope. Oh, really? I didn't notice that. Got a pet food place there. And vape shop. Vapes and cannabis and whatnot are pretty big around here. There's another cannabis accessories shop right there beside the Century Sound, which sells stereos. And then the corner is Mr. Sub, which has been here for a long time, before I was born. So I can't believe they've succeeded with all these other eating options that have popped up over the years. Mr. Sub has still been able to stay in business. You stop looking at anything but how the newest one is doing. Plush says it's good pizza over there at Boston Pizza, right? They do have very good pizza. Now we're getting into fast food central over here with Burger King. Recently renovated Burger King. That pet food place likes the layout of the building. Might have used yeah, I think it might have been a movie rental place. There's definitely a movie rental place coming up here that, well, it used to be Blockbuster. Right beside the Burger King here. Because I worked at this. So now where you see it says Swan's Pizza. This place that says One Plant and Swan's Pizza. It looks like it's got a cannabis shop and a pizza place both together. But that whole building used to be Blockbuster. That's where I worked in high school. Got an auto glass shop, and then across the street, Taco Bell. If you're in the mood for some very authentic Mexican food. Just kidding, it's not authentic at all. Excuse me. And then, of course, McDonald's. What would a city be without McDonald's? I don't think there is such a thing as a city without McDonald's. Wimpy's, I've never tried Wimpy's. So you can see this is fast food central over here. There's a Popeyes. Yeah, oh yeah, working at Blockbuster, I was the man. And I'll tell you, Blockbuster was like one of the places to be on a Friday night. The place was packed. Everybody would rent movies. So I knew everyone in town and who was dating who, because they would come in together. So we've got a Domino's and another Subway. So I showed you the Subway back there. This is the second Subway here on Talbot Street, and another Cash Money place inside the Subway. So it looks like Subway and Cash Money tend to go together. And a bakery shop. No McDonald's in North Korea, Iceland, Bermuda, and Nigeria. Well, there you go. I don't consider those places to be legit then. Because we've got a Freshco here, another budget grocery shop. Very large, not very large supermarket, but a pretty big supermarket. And KFC. Evan's with us. Nice to see you, Evan. Welcome. We're in St. Thomas, Ontario today. No, but that's a good idea, Kurt. You see the sign for Freshco. And looks like there's also a Canna Cabana in here too, so we've got more cannabis shops around here too in this large plaza somewhere. Freshco is owned by Sobeys. Cool. Kurt knows who all the grocery stores are owned by. The fawns of Blockbusters. As we see another Cash Money place here, so that's our third check cashing place we've seen just on this short stretch here of Talbot Street. As we've got a place called Hasty Market, and Doughbox wood-fired pizzas. I believe this used to be a Pizza Hut. Looks like Pizza Hut's been closed down, and they've got this place instead, Doughbox. Wood-fired artisan pizza. Interesting, that I didn't know. Across the street we have a very cool fast food place called A&W. It's got that old school 1950s look. And the teen burger from there is to die for. It's my favorite fast food burger. Yes, exactly, Kurt. Grab your cannabis, grab your burgers, and then of course we've got Tim Hortons right here to grab your coffee at. And then across the street there where it says LCBO, that's a liquor store. And then you've got the Talbot Mini Mart here where you can get your cigarettes and your snacks, chips, chocolate bars. And so you're good to go for the whole weekend here. Onion rings are great at A&W. Yep. They have onion rings. Even the fries are good. Is Devin taking off? All right, see you, buddy. We'll talk to you soon, Devin. And then you can get your oil change too here, so you don't have to leave Talbot Street. And Dave is with us. Hello, Dave. Did you meet Sir Thomas? I've never met him before. Oh, that Timmy's is always busy. But yeah, especially in the morning. Thing with Tim Hortons here in St. Thomas is they're pretty much all 24 hours drive-through. And so it's very rare for it not to be busy. So we've got a Dollarama across the street. Good dollar store. As we reach First Ave and Talbot Street, one of the main intersections of the city. And there's a lot more plazas and stores there, but it's kind of like big box stuff, not too walkable. So we're gonna cross the street here. And David C is with us. Welcome, David. Nice to see you. We're in a small town here in Canada. I was wondering what was 24 hours. I was guessing Tim's and McDonald's. I don't think McDonald's is. Although it could be. But I believe it's mostly just the Tim Hortons are 24/7. As we say goodbye to Talbot Street, the main drag of the city. There's no main street in St. Thomas. There is Talbot Street, and then there's also 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th Ave. Looks like everything is going well on the signal side so far. Sorry about yesterday's stream where we were buffering a lot. I guess Port Stanley doesn't have the best signal, maybe. Is there a Costco here or a movie theater? There is a movie theater in the mall, in Elgin Mall, which is a little ways from here. I don't think I'll walk over to the mall. But there's no Costco in St. Thomas. You got to drive to London for that. Yeah, I know it's annoying though, Juanita, when you're watching a live stream and it goes buffering. Thrift store there, lots of good stuff you can get there. And this building here is Home Hardware, a very large hardware store. They sell like furniture and all kinds of stuff. Any McDonald's? Yes, there is a McDonald's. We already passed that over on Talbot Street. And there is a Harvey's. There's a Swiss Chalet Harvey's that are put together. And we didn't quite make it down Talbot Street far enough to show you that, but it's also there. Not far from that corner that we were when we turned. Harvey's I don't eat that much, but Swiss Chalet is delicious. Thing with Harvey's is there's already so many burger options in the city. You can buy and sell gold and diamonds at that place. And there's a pretty large apartment building for St. Thomas. That's kind of one of the bigger ones and one of the newer ones in the city. There's not too many apartment buildings though. The ones that there are mostly for seniors. So it's a very typical Canadian town here. I wouldn't call this exciting by any means, but people have a nice, simple life here if they want, and everything is available. Thomasville is cottage country. You wonder if St. Thomas here is cottage country? No, I wouldn't say we're cottage country. Just because there's not much like outdoor activities and we're not really close enough to the water. Port Stanley is, but they have mostly beach houses. So I would say cottage country is more up north. It's got a Little Caesars there. You can get a hot and ready pizza for, I think it's $7 all ready to go. Down this mostly residential street here. Show you what average houses here look like. This is a very typical neighborhood you'll find. Have I been to Markham? I have. I went to a concert there before. Got a nice white home here. At the, I think it's a Molson Park. What's my next destination? I'm going to be at the Toronto Tech and Transit meetup on August 24th, and I probably will go live for a short period of time anyways from Toronto. So that will be my next destination, and I'm sure most of y'all will be in the chat, and some of you maybe will meet you in person. Yeah, pretty nice homes here, you know, like not too expensive. You can live here, have a barbecue in the backyard in the summer. You can easily, you have like a little garage to do your tinkering of whatever it is you do, and live a very nice, peaceful life here. No one's really going to bother you. And you can enjoy yourself. Now, if you want a lot of excitement, this is not the place to be. But if you're okay with not having a lot of excitement in your life, you can still find some, a little bit here. Juanita's liking it. She doesn't need tons and tons of excitement, right, Juanita? I grew up here. I got no complaints. It is nice and quiet. This street's quiet all year round. As those two real estate agents are both friends of mine. Went to high school with them. If you like gardening, these houses are perfect. They all have backyards. And this looks like a very nice red brick home. That sort of colonial design. And so you can do that. You can walk your dog in this neighborhood, no problems. I think we saw one of these yesterday in Port Stanley, but what these things are is the neighborhood mailboxes. So instead of the mail carrier bringing like the mail directly to your house, he just puts it in here and you can come get it if you live in this neighborhood. So that's how they save money here in the post office. And there's no Saturday delivery in Canada. There's never been Saturday delivery. It's only Monday to Friday. You gotta make sure your lawns are nice and mowed around here. Everyone takes care of their lawns. We have a nice A-frame style home there, I think it's called. I could be wrong. But I'm liking the peak on that doorway. You guys have a mail center like that? Oh, okay, cool. So the mailman doesn't bring it directly to your home, he just leaves it there? You can see they're selling 2 homes on this street, my friends. You have that? No mailbox, but oh, okay, interesting. So some states have that, it looks like. Looks like in Hawaii and Texas they've got that. In California, I mean, I've never really seen that, so, but maybe some communities do have it. If they had it in San Francisco, it would get broken into every day. All the mail would be gone, so.
send something down the line to have a look.
Did last week.
Two weeks.
They're in Little Bar.
A lot of the time they do shit on the outside. So they got like electronic. You just send a signal through. They're like little bands, and as those bands are off, then it sends
So as you can see, this is a very typical street. And I'm sure every town in Canada has a street like this with homes like this. It is a nice block, right? These trees are very tall and old. That's a nice looking home right there. This guy decided to put a nice large rock in his front yard. Don't see kids playing. Yeah. Surprisingly, you haven't seen any kids. There usually would be some around, but I feel like nowadays kids are too busy on their phones in the house. They're playing on TikTok is what they're playing on, or they're playing video games. There's no need to be outdoors anymore, apparently. Oh, nice, Devin. You fixed your IKEA bed. Good job. Welcome back. We're on Forest Ave, it's called. A very typical street here. Mighty Bull's liking it here. Let us know where you're from, Mighty Bull. Somewhat larger home there. I think that could be a duplex. Yep. They're playing Grand Theft Auto. These tree-lined streets do provide a lot of shade, so it's pretty nice walking around here. Your neighbor is nosy with kids. Is noisy. New York City, born and raised. That's what I thought. That's what I thought, Mighty Bull. You know that city like the back of your hand, I can tell. Yeah, I saw that. Very nice car. Yeah, people probably do have classic cars around here. They do have that sort of, every year they'll have like a classic car sort of meetup where they'll bring all their cars and show off their engines and stuff. It's pretty cool. It's a large new development here. There used to be an old college across the street where they're building this apartment building. It's called Alma College, built in the 1800s. It was beautiful, like the architecture was amazing. But it got burnt down in a fire, unfortunately. Yeah, that was one of the sadder moments in St. Thomas, just because it was such an iconic structure. Got a little free library here. I believe this is an Indian restaurant called Salt and Pepper. This is a collectible shop called Dark Matter, which has tons of like Star Wars stuff, and you can see Darth Vader right there, and other old school toys and collectibles. Beatlemania, they've got old records here, and so it's a cute little store. And we have Boom Productions. Welcome, Boom. Asking if I have gone by Dumbo yet. I think you mean Jumbo, and that is where I started the stream. Yes, absolutely. There's the massive Jumbo statue, which St. Thomas is obviously known for. And I did start the stream there. That is a good shop name, Dark Matters. Yeah, for sure. thank you, Juanita, for putting Boom's link there. Boom has a great channel from Toronto where he's done lots of different types of content. Yes, Jumbo. Now, the movie Dumbo, they say was based on the life of Jumbo or something like that, but Select Seconds is an antique. It's a second-hand furniture and clothing stop. Everything, actually. Like, it's basically a thrift shop, but they've got a lot of furniture and stuff there, so it's not just little stuff. This is called Wellington Street. As you can see, there's still a lot of old buildings left in the city. Those brick homes last forever. Disney wasn't going to pay B&B to use Jumbo's name, plus they don't like it when the kids find out what happens when the magic escapes. Yeah. Of course they had to fictionalize it, I mean, but Dumbo and Jumbo's definitely sound similar. So we have this church has been here for a long time. United Church. United is big around here. And when you say B&B, you mean Barnum and Bailey Circus, I assume, right? Oh, is that right, Devin? Another layer of brick. I don't know if that would work. Oh yeah. What about earthquakes? Don't need to worry about that here in the Great Lakes land. Oh, in California? Well, yeah, that's a different story. That is a different story. Got a nice little funeral home here. Exactly, like Lego, right? These houses are all very new. This subdivision didn't exist when I was a kid. Looks like some of them might not even be occupied, but could be. They all kind of look the same though. It's not that they're ugly by any means, but I feel like they could mix it up. This street, Roseberry, has more upscale older homes. That's probably a pretty big house inside. Not sure what flag that is. A lot of older trees in this neighborhood. Yeah, I agree, Devin. That is a copy and paste neighborhood. It's a nicer older home right there. Oh, that was Romania? Thanks, Cole. Yeah, exactly, Plush. These trees are, I mean, look at that massive beast right there, right? That's probably been growing for 50, 60, who knows, maybe longer. These are, these have large front yards too. And we have Apple Intelligence with us. Welcome, Apple. Nice to see you. We're in the neighboring town of St. Thomas today, beside Port Stanley, which is where we were yesterday, obviously. This guy has a very large front yard right here. Huge and beautiful, right? And look at the nice deck, like porch, front porch he has there. And a nice beautiful brick home. That's a classy house right there, especially with such a large front yard. Of course, he's got to pay someone to keep that grass nice and cut, but I would say it's worth it. Yeah, very nice yard, eh, Medano? These guys have more space than newer homes. Newer homes don't have anywhere this kind of front yards. If they even have a front yard, barely nowadays. That has like a sort of German Swiss chateau kind of look, I guess. Colonial style, I think. Also a very large home right here. You can tell this has lots of space. In Canada we have basements too, so add another floor for the basement. In California we don't have basements, but in all these homes that I showed you here, pretty much, they all have basements, and many of them are furnished, so you'll have like a whole living room and maybe a bedroom, maybe a bathroom down there. So that adds a lot more space to the house. And this guy has very nice yellow brick here as well, and a beautifully manicured lawn. An 80-year-old oak would be 6-7 feet. This is certainly oak, maple, walnut country over here. You find those types of trees all throughout Ontario, southwestern Ontario, and also spruce and pines. Yeah, that might have been bigger. What's a basement, right? It's hard to find a basement even like in the States, I almost want to say. I don't know. I think maybe in Michigan they might have basements, but they don't build with basements much. But here in Canada, I don't think I ever went to a house that didn't have a basement. All these houses will have basements. There's not much issues with flooding really here. Nice sort of turret design at the top. Be cool to hang out up there and look at the city. This is a school, or it used to be a school. Pretty sure it still is. Elementary school. You guys have basements, yeah. Maybe this is a municipal building now? Says Wellington Block Lot. So I'm not sure what this building is functioning as now. It could still be a school though. They used to have a fence around it though, so they removed the fence, so I'm not sure if it's still an elementary school. Yeah, beer, potatoes, and recording booth, exactly. This is a very unique looking home here. I feel my gimbal is a little bit finicky today. Not moving up and down that smooth, the gimbal. This is an interesting looking home. Very old design. Make sure you click that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Not just an extra room, a whole extra floor, you know? Wellington Street School. Oh, okay. Well, thanks, Devin. Finding out information about St. Thomas. Very nice. 1898 Wellington Street School. And if they turn it into apartments, really? I think that would be a pretty nice building to live in. If you having brand new interior. Thanks for the info. I don't know how you found that. This building right here is one of the nicer ones in St. Thomas, if not the nicest. This is the courthouse. This is a very old courthouse, but they added like a wing to it here recently, so this part is new. But this part with the dome is old. Googling St. Thomas today's newspapers. Yes, there's the St. Thomas Times Journal. So you've got the, I think this is the Ontario Provincial Court, or sorry, the Elgin County Courthouse. Let's see what it says exactly. Elgin County Courthouse, Superior Court of Justice, and the Ontario Court of Justice. So there's, yeah, there's multiple court going on here. Let's cross the street and get a better view from across the street. Students returned to Wellington Street School in 2012. Okay, well that's good to know. As we have the Elgin County Courthouse here. And they were going to demolish it, but it is a big courthouse. one of the major developers in St. Thomas. He ended up buying it and renovating it and bringing it back into a courthouse. You can see very nice houses across the street from the courthouse. This was a wealthy area back in the day. It is, right? I'm liking the architecture. Anything with a nice, beautiful dome like that, and like if they've even got windows around the dome, you can go hang out in that dome part. I don't know if they'll allow any of us there, but someone, maybe a judge, can go. We've got sort of one of the nicer, older mansions in the city here. Would you guys like to live in this kind of old style Victorian home with a lot of space in there? Oh, does it look like that, Devin? Yeah. Lansing is the capital of Michigan, I believe. Juanita likes it. Looks like the Keg Mansion. Oh, is that the restaurant that they put in a mansion there? Oh, the street signs, yeah, they can be a little... I believe this looks more like a church, but I think this is also just a very large home. Building an apartment building here, it looks like. In Hawaii plush, I imagine every house is millions of dollars. They put a restaurant in an existing mansion on Georgia. I'd go to that Keg. That would be cool. There's a Keg in London, Ontario. I've been to that. It's a very good restaurant. Let's cross over to Walnut Street, where at the beginning of the stream I sort of showed you that old church, this old St. Thomas church, which I believe the city's named after. get used to it in apartment buildings. How on earth that will be quiet enough for people is beyond me. I know. Look at all the construction going on here in this very quiet, fairly wealthy neighborhood. Whoever lives in that house must be really annoyed right now. Although it looks like his front yard is all dug up as well. So it looks like maybe they're doing, oh, it says Walnut Gardens apartment building. So maybe this house is somehow getting work done on it as well. Seems kind of strange that all these construction guys would be parked right here. We've got a huge slab of 2x4s or whatever there. Free tours of this very old church here. And I believe the city of St. Thomas was named after this old church here, which looks like a typical New England church. This is like, you would find hundreds of these churches in Massachusetts that look exactly like that. I believe this was, yeah, 1824. This church was completed in 1824 on land given by Daniel Rapelje. Now he's known as the founder of the city of St. Thomas, the first resident. So, and then in 1825, a tower, steeple, and chapel were added with the aid of a donation from Colonel Thomas Talbot. So yeah, and MacArthur's raid took place right at this spot here in 1814, which was in the War of 1812. We can go check out the inside here. This is an Anglican church. In the States they call that Episcopalian, and in England they call it the Church of England, also Anglican. And as you can see, it does have actually a British flag out front. Right there. You can barely see it because it's not waving, but that's, they only have a British flag out front. There's no other flags. And some of these graves are very, very old. In fact, can't even read what that says anymore. This is definitely the oldest cemetery in the city by far. Good, good. Just taking a video of this.
Sorry, I'm in your way.
Oh, no worries. Can I go inside?
Oh, please do.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Hello.
Hello.
And as you can see, they don't really have services anymore here. Karina. Welcome, Karina. We are in St. Thomas, Ontario, in the oldest church in the city, in the town. This is the town where I grew up. And this church was built in 1824. And you can see it's very simple. Everyone had their own booth in those days. Your whole family would basically sit in the same booth. And they still have an altar here. But there's no, like, services or anything. It's just sort of a historical site now. And they've got balcony where people could sit up to there as well. and watch the services. And then they've got a real old school piano here, or organ, I guess. That organ looks real old. Not hooked up. And so it's certainly not a big church by any means, but in 1824, how many people even lived here in St. Thomas, right? I mean, couldn't have been too many. Yeah, I know, right? You're kind of trapped in here with these booths because they've all got like doors here. And then your whole family would just sit in one of these booths, and the more well-to-do families would sit in the better booths closer to the altar. And we can check out some of these gravestones. Margaret and William. They both died in, or one died in 1889 and one died in 1898. So they erected this beautiful marble, or maybe red sandstone kind of thing. It could be granite. I'm not sure what kind of stone that is. It's probably granite. This is that 1845, I think? It's kind of hard to read some of these. This is 1858. And actually 1828. So real old gravestones here. In fact, one is so old that it fell down. This man died in 1896. This gimbal's really giving me a hard time. Pointing things downwards is not that easy when you have a gimbal. The Nickel family erected this in 1882. That's a lot of alkali feldspar granite. Yeah. Devin knows his stuff. I mean, that, friends, is such an old gravestone. All the wording is long gone. No one even knows who lives there, who died there anymore. So we have a pretty large one for Chisholm family. And so we'll start over at the left. May 16th, 1828, Alex Chisholm. And then WMW Chisholm, 1832. Francis Oswell Chisholm, 1832. In the middle, I think it's 1828 maybe? 1832, 1888, and then 1835. So I don't know when this thing was erected, but these are some old graves right here. And I believe the one for Daniel Rapogee, the founder of St. Thomas, the original resident, is somewhere back here. This is the Rapogee gravestone. I believe he was Dutch. And he died in 1801, I think. Or 1901. Or, yeah, in 1894. And then his wife died in 1901. And it's got some information about here. Daniel arrived in 1810 here in St. Thomas. So that's when this land was settled. But he was born in Long Island in 1775 and he died in 1828. Okay. So yeah, this is the oldest part of the city. And unfortunately, a lot of these gravestones are broken. I don't know if there would be any family members alive to pay for a new one. This Wilson family here erected a Egyptian obelisk over their grave. The Wilson family, most likely Freemasons. That's probably why they have the Egyptian obelisk. Certainly this is an Anglican church, which would have been very much influenced by the Freemasons. This way. Shale doesn't hold up, eh? Yeah, that was a cute little place, right? This church, this cemetery and church. Can't replicate this kind of stuff from history, you know what I mean? Like, no one's going to design a little church like that probably ever again. Well, maybe, but generally they're going to use new designs. And these old gravestones, well, it's expensive nowadays to put such elaborate gravestones and stuff. Oh yeah, I mean, I don't, cemeteries don't bother me. I like cemeteries. I think they're pretty cool. I've done a couple videos in cemeteries. The Golden Gate National Cemetery in San Bruno, California. And then I did the historic Mission Church and Cemetery in downtown San Francisco in the Mission District, which was where essentially San Francisco was founded. But all the other cemeteries in San Francisco have been dug up, and they moved all the bodies out back in the 1800s in a huge mass movement of graves where they said they didn't want to have any more cemeteries in the city. The land is too valuable. So most likely there were some businessmen involved in that decision who wanted to commercialize the city and said, let's get rid of all these cemeteries and build land, or build on this, develop this land into something else. You did the big ones over at your place over in Grand Rapids. Yeah, Devin has a great channel from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Juanita, if you want to post the link to Devin's channel. Forgot to mention that. I think they tried to move most of the bodies over to Colma, California, which is where all the cemeteries are now. The whole city is basically based on, the whole economy is based on cemetery. Thank you, Juanita. So if you die in the Bay Area, you're getting married in, you're getting buried, sorry, in Colma. You have a day job again? Well, that's all right. At least you have a day job. I need to get one of those eventually. We have a little park bench here all by its lonesome. Under a little bit of a tunnel here. Yeah. No, it wasn't a Freudian slip. We have 19 with us, so remember to hit that like button, and if you like what you're watching, feel free to subscribe. This is a small military museum right here. Never been in that. As we make our way back to where we started. The giant jumbo statue. You can see his large buttocks right there. It's nice, right, Jazz? Life-size statue of Jumbo. I believe this was right there. That little CN car is a small train museum. Very small train museum. Jumbo! Exactly, Boom. His big caboose, yeah, exactly. Right next to this little caboose. They did a great job with the statue, though. It looks very real. It's not, you know, cartoony or anything. The tusks and everything look real. I would agree, Devin. And that is St. Thomas's most famous monument. Well, thanks for joining the live stream, everyone, from my hometown in St. Thomas, Ontario here, about 2 hours outside of Toronto. Thank you, Jazz, appreciate that. Devin, nice to see you. Plush, nice to see you. Juanita, thank you so much for modding. Boom, welcome. Thank you for modding as well. Modano, thank you for being here. Karina, nice to see you in the chat. Apple Intelligence was with us. Dave Averino and David. And thank you, Devin, appreciate that. You're welcome, Modano. I'm glad you enjoyed St. Thomas, or the little town where I grew up. It's a peaceful town and pretty in a way. It's a picturesque city if you think about it. Oh, you're very welcome, Jazz. And thank you for joining me. and I will keep you guys updated. I will be in Toronto this weekend, but I may go live again from somewhere here in southwestern Ontario. And you guys have yourself a great week, and we will see you soon. All right, bye for now, everyone.